Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for coming and meeting with me today.
Happy to.
Awesome. Okay, so I was wondering if you would be interested in learning a modality, a method that helps with functioning and stress, anger, anxiety, stuff like that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to be teaching is called mind-body bridging.
Okay.
And mind-body bridging, the concept really is that your mind and your body, they're not separate, they're connected. And so what is affecting your mind affects your body.
Oh, cool.
Mind-body bridging, it's a brain-based method. It's not philosophical, it's experiential. Like, it's something you actually experience, not just think about.
Oh.
So with that, we're just going to dive into the experience.
Okay. Cool.
Perfect. Okay, so it looks like you've got a pen and paper. So what I'll ask you to do is write down a stressful situation or a problem that you're having right now in the middle of your paper, and just like draw a little circle around it and just put it in the middle of your paper.
Okay.
Whatever you're thinking, just any stressful thing.
Oh, dear.
We need a new pen.
No, I got it.
It's a good circle.
Thank you.
I'm technically not supposed to be able to see.
Oh.
Not like it's like magic, but
Okay. Got it.
anyways. Okay. Shoot.
It's okay. I'm still raw.
Okay. Perfect. So, now what I'm going to have you do is, for a little bit of time, I am going to have you write down all of your thoughts that have to do with this thing. So don't edit them at all. Just rapid fire. Just write down all the things that come to your mind and just go ahead and go until I tell you to stop.
Okay, and that's just like a web thing? I just draw circles around those as well? Or
And
just
you don't,
all over?
it's scattered.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be organized. So, yeah. And go ahead and just wrap up whatever last thought you have.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. All right. So, in the mind-body state you're in right now, would you say that your mind was clear and your thoughts came in slow, or would you say it was cluttered and pretty rapid?
I'd say it's pretty like cluttered and rapid because there's many different. It's not a very clear emotion that I'm feeling. There's lots that goes into it.
Right. Makes sense. And with your body, when you were writing all of this down, did you feel any tension, like jaw, neck, stomach?
Probably. I wasn't actually consciously aware of it, but I would imagine my jaw got tight because that's like my normal response. And then I was like kind of biting my lip. So probably more tense.
Yeah. So with the tension and the clutter that you had, mind clutter, how would you rate your functioning? Like functioning or ability to just kind of do your normal day activities.
My functioning, like on a scale of 1 to 10 to be effective, I would probably say like a 7, but it would be more like of a manic panic a little bit, like just trying to get things done. I don't know if I would be accomplishing things in my most efficient way.
That's a good way to put it. Efficient, for sure, but slightly impaired from what it could be. For sure. Okay, so since this is experiential, we're gonna go again, but I'm gonna tell you a couple things first. So new piece of paper, please. And you're going to write the same thing in a circle, just like you did before. So go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Okay, before you start writing again now, there's a little bit that I'm going to ask you to do, and that is you're going to be a little bit aware of your senses. So you're going to listen for background noises, like you can sort of hear some sort of something in the walls. Also be aware of like your body sitting on this bed. As you're writing, when you start writing, be aware of like the ink going on the paper. It won't be natural, so it'll be normal to like kind of go out of that and start thinking again. That's okay. Just go right back to trying to listen to your background noises and be aware of your body.
Okay. So I think of that while I'm writing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And otherwise it's the same.
Okay.
So I'll give you a couple seconds to kind of just be able to listen, and then we'll start.
Okay.
Okay. And again, listen to the background noises. If you have a thought, just bring it back to your senses. Notice the ink in your pen as you're writing. Go ahead and do your last thought. Okay, thank you. So this time around, how would you say your mind was cluttered? Would you say it was clear, fast thinking, slower thinking?
It was way more slowed down, and I even think like the pattern of what I was writing was a lot more clear. It was more like one thought that I would put to paper, and then the next thought that I would put to paper.
Okay. And with your body, you probably knew to look for it a little bit more than you did the first time. But did you notice any body tension?
I felt pretty, well, not relaxed, but a lot more relaxed when I was thinking about it. I didn't feel my mouth at all being tense.
So you felt less tense. Okay. With this mind-body state, how do you feel your functioning compares to what it was in the first map?
It seems like my task seems a lot more manageable when I'm calmer. So I think the functioning would be a lot higher and more deliberate, probably.
Yeah. And you said you definitely noticed a difference from the thoughts that you were having in your second thought as opposed to your first map.
Yeah, I think even just the way I was writing them was phrased more like diplomatically and positively, whereas before I was kind of just like angry writing it down.
Yeah. So the cool thing is I didn't ask you to feel more calm, And I didn't tell you to think more clearly. You just naturally did. And that's why it's experiential, because it's something that you have to do more than just be told. So what you're experiencing in the first map is something called the identity system, or the I system. And it's called the identity system because we are falsely identifying with these thoughts and assuming they're our identity when they're not necessarily so. You have two modes. You have your default mode, and that would be your I system, where you're not aware of what you're doing and you're just kind of going. Then you have your executive network, and that is where you're in good functioning. You're not in impaired functioning. We also call it the true self, which I think is awesome. In mind-body bridging, the belief is that inside of you is the wellspring of power and healing. It's all inside of you. When you're in your I system, you get cut off from it. And so the purpose of mind-body bridging, it's not to get rid of your I system. It will always be there, but it's to rest it and to therefore bridge that connection. And so there's three things that we do with that, and the first is mapping, which we did with these two maps. And mapping is good because it helps you bring to paper what's going on up here, and you can see and be a little bit more aware of what you're actually processing. And then second is becoming aware of your senses, which you did with the second map, tuning into your senses. And that's how you can really bridge and tap into your true self. And then the third is thought labeling. And thought labeling is really what it sounds like. So for instance, if I were having the thought, I suck at grad school, in my mind, to label that thought, I would actually phrase in my mind, I'm having the thought, I suck at grad school. What else is new? And you do that with any thought that you have that you find distressing, because it separates you from the thought. And you're actually phrasing it as, I'm having this thought.
Cool.
So with those three things, those are the skills that help you to become more in your true self and have that wellspring of power. You can tell the difference between whether you're in your identity system or in your executive functioning or true self by your body tension and your mind clutter or lack of. When you're thinking clearly, you're functioning at your best. Another way to explain it is with your identity system. So imagine that you have this much stress and your vessel is this big. There's not a lot of room for movement. Functioning's rough. When you go into your true self and your executive network, the stress doesn't change. It stays the same, but your vessel expands. So your ability to manage the same amount of stress increases. And with mind-body bridging, the belief is that it's not the stress that's the problem, it's the impaired functioning that's causing you to not be able to handle the situation.
Oh, that's a cool way to think about it.
Yeah. And so expanding your vessel creates a lot more room to move and to think and to tap into that wellspring of power and knowledge.
Cool.
So that's that.
Awesome. Thank you.